American philosopher and psychologist William James said, "Act as if what you do makes a difference." It does. 𝗂𝗍𝗶𝗂, you're watching Curious About Careers, and I'm your host, 𝗘𝗶𝗄𝗂. Today, my guest is Tenzin Phintso, who owns 𝗧𝗲𝗍𝗄𝗏. So Tenzin, thank you for joining us, and please tell us a little bit more about yourself and your business.
𝗂𝗍𝗶𝗂 to all the viewers, and first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for having me on your show and to talk about my work and my experiences.
So Tenzin, as kids, we all had different ambitions. And what was your ambition, and how did you get into vinyl printing?
I'd say that our ambitions change as we grow older, and for me, when I was a kid, I always wanted to join the army because I was more into army because I stay near the army camp, and then seeing the army people, I just wanted to join the army. But then as you grow older, your interests changed, and then all my interest, it was towards graphic designing, though my hand wasn't that artistic. Supposing if you give me a paper and a pencil to draw something, I'd say that it would be a disaster. But then, yeah, thank you to modern technologies, it's easier to design on a computer. So my interest changed, and I wanted to become a graphic designer. I took up few courses in Bhutan only, and then, yeah, here I am as a graphic designer. I looked at few of the job opportunities that are related to graphic designing, and the first one was the printing business, so I came up with the printing ideas. In the printing world, there are different types of printings, such as sublimation, vinyl printing, DTG, DTF, embroidery. But then for me, I think that vinyl printing was the best because the quality was really good, and also the finished product gave a very expensive look to it. So I chose vinyl printing, and then my business is based on vinyl printing now.
So Tenzin, tell me, how has the market reacted to your business? Are people coming forward to avail your services?
I think that the market in Bhutan is not that good because, you know, our country is very small and the population is even smaller. When introducing vinyl printing, I'd say that I'm not the first vinyl printer in Bhutan, and neither I will be the last. But the materials that I take out are from China and Korea, so the cost becomes a little bit higher. So when I sell my products here, the cost is a little bit higher, and the market is already flooded with the printing works done by ink, so it is a little bit hard to get the cost that I want. So I'd say the market is okay type in Bhutan.
Okay, I guess people are opting for ready-made goods rather than, having something created from scratch.
Yes, that also, and also most of the big companies, they want their jobs to be done really good, and then the cost to be very low. So most of the big companies, they do order from outside, especially from Bangladesh, from China, and then some from Bangkok.
Okay. Starting up a business, it might have been a very risky move. So how did you go about it?
Right after graduation, I took a rest for just a month, and then I started working. I started working for a travel agency. I was working as a reservation manager, and I worked for almost a year. But then during that time, I found that the work life from 9 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. was not for me. And I always had this interest in graphic designing, so I had a little talk with my father. He told me that if you want to start a business, then he'll do his best to support me, but then you have to do a proper research and start the business. So after giving my resignation to the tour company, I spent 3 to 4 months on YouTube. I'd say that YouTube was a great help for me because, the internet is a very big place, and then you can learn a lot of things. But for me, YouTube was a game changer, because from YouTube, I came across a lot of business starters, and then I came across this one guy called 𝗧𝗲𝗍𝗍. He is a professional stunt motorcyclist who turned into a professional printer and a brand owner. So my inspiration was 𝗧𝗲𝗍𝗍, and then through his videos, I was more interested into the printing world. And after doing a lot of research, I found out that, okay, this is something that I would love to do, because, you know, people say that when you do something you love, you don't work a single day in your life. So I think that 𝗧𝗲𝗍𝗍 had a great inspiration for me, and that's how I started my printing business.
So that was the educational part that you covered with your own initiative. You took the initiative to learn about the whole process.
Yes.
But when it comes to setting up a business, how did you do it?
At first, during the initial stage, I wouldn't say that it was really easy for me, because I came to know about the names of the machines and the names of the raw materials. I got my contacts, but then it wasn't easy to bring in the things from outside Bhutan. So it was a little bit hard, but after that, everything fell into the places, and I operated my business from a small room. That time I was living in Thimphu. I was renting a small apartment, and I was operating my printing business from a storeroom, I would say. The market wasn't that good that time. After taking out the machines, the raw materials, I was ready to start my business, but for almost 3 months, I had no orders. I was thinking that maybe this was a bad idea, and maybe the risk I took wasn't that calculative, and then I made a huge mistake. But then I'd say that the swimming pool family, it's the basketball players, helped me a lot. They found out that I have this printing business, and then they started ordering their warm-up T-shirts, warm-up hoodies, and then T-shirts related to their favorite clubs internationally or nationally. I'd say that the initial stage was a bit hard, but now it's becoming easier day by day.
So it's great to know that you had support from your family and friends, but you might have faced a lot of challenges, other challenges. So would you like to share what were some of those?
Yes, sure. The main challenge that I face in my line of work is the costing, because as I already mentioned, the market is not that good, but I really love graphic designing, so that didn't stop me from doing it. And other challenges would be sometimes dealing with the customers, because, you know, everybody wants the product to be really good, and then the cost to be very cheap. But then, you know, both the packages don't come in one. So it's a little bit hard to discuss the costing with the customers. But some people, they really love the final product, so they don't mind paying the amount for the T-shirt or the hoodies that they order. And the other challenge would be that with the technology being upgraded now and then, the softwares are also being upgraded. So for my line of business, the main software that I use is Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. And the new version of these softwares are quite big in size. The computer needs to be really good with high specifications. So to upgrade the PC, it's a bit hard because it's expensive. And the new softwares are really huge, so the PC needs to be also very good. So upgrading the PC is also a challenge.
So I guess you face a lot of difficulties when it comes to technology. And talking about your products, I guess there's a huge process involved. So can you tell us about the process from start to finish?
Okay, so in vinyl printing, there are mainly 4 processes. The first process is you designing a design. So you making the design using Adobe softwares, and then when you're done with the designing part, you have to send the design to the software for the plotter machine. So when you send that design to the other software that runs the plotter machine cuts the design, and after the cutting work is done, you have to take out the design, and then you take it to a table where you have a bright area. In that area, the weeding process is being done. The third process is the weeding process. And I would say that the weeding process is the most difficult process of the printing, and most of the vinyl printers, they give up in that process because it takes a lot of time, and then it's hard to make the design ready when you're weeding, because firstly you need good light, and then working in a bright light, it affects your eyes. But once the weeding process is done, then it's just few minutes work. So after the weeding process is done, you take the design to the press, and then on the press you have the choice of your garment, supposing a t-shirt, a hoodie, a jumper, can be anything, tote bag or anything, and then you put the design on top of the garment, and then you press for a few seconds, and then you let it cool, and once it's cool, then the final product is ready.
Okay. So talking about the designs, do you usually design for the clients, or do they bring in their own designs?
This depends upon the customers, because some customers, they come in with their own drawings. For example, like I have this customer who brings in designs of her son's drawing. It's very nice and something unique. So I turn that design into a vector design, and then I print on the t-shirt or the garment that she wants. Sometimes the customers, they come in with a rough idea that, okay, I want something like a dragon, some wordings, some numbers, and then I design. And there are few customers who come in with the blank page, and then they ask me, I want something to be unique, and I want something that nobody wears. So that time I try to make something unique, I design, and then I print them.
Okay. So if I were to ask you to design something on a t-shirt for me, how long do you think it will take for me to get the end product?
I would say it won't take that long, because sometimes it depends upon the design also. If the design is very detailed, so then it might take about 5-6 hours to print.
No.
But if the design is very simple, it'll take about 1 to 2 hours. But the main problem is that my work is set up here in Paro, and most of my customers are from Thimphu. So I get the orders during the weekdays, I print them, I keep them ready, packed and everything, and then during the weekends, I go there and deliver it to their doorsteps.
I thought you were going to say that, it would take a few days for me to get the product, but within a few hours, I think that's very fast.
Yes, I'd say it's fast, and this is one of my main strength, because some people, they forget to buy their partners gifts, their birthday gifts, so they order during the last minute. So I print unique designs, especially for couples. I make couple t-shirts, birthdays, designs like queens are born in September, kings are born in November, something like that. After printing, I send them directly to them, and if the delivery is fine in the weekends, then I don't charge them. But if they want it urgently, so supposing you place an order, and if you want the order to be delivered today only, then I'll ask the customers to bear the transportation fees, and I send them in a taxi. I have a lot of taxi driver friends who deliver for me.
Your services are very instant and you deliver. That's, I think, what everyone needs right now, instant and fast delivery. So now I know where to get my next gift from in case if I forget something. And talking about your business, how long has it been since you started View Life?
The first time I started my business was I think in 2019. So before turning it into a business, after taking out the machines and the raw materials, I printed for myself, and I'd say I have wasted a lot of t-shirts, hoodies, track pants, and a lot of jackets. I started printing for my friends, my family members, and I also made a few t-shirts as gifts for some of the foreigners outside Bhutan. And after getting good reviews from them, then I turned it into a business. And I'd say that the journey was very nice. I've improved myself in a lot of ways, especially with the colors, because I wasn't that good with color combinations, because the only colors I like was black and white. I believe that when doing business related to colors, it also broadens your mind and it helps you to create something beautiful. So after doing this business, now I'm familiar with most of the colors and the color combos, especially like most of the people think that, okay, so if you print something on a black background, the design needs to be in white. But then on black background, dark colors also look really nice. And my favorite color combo would be the black, red, and white. It gives you expensive finish.
Well, it's nice to know that you know your career is helping you learn about new things, venture into other areas of that's related to your work. So can you tell us a little bit about your future plans? Are you planning to stick to vinyl printing only, or will you try maybe other sorts of printing, and maybe do you have plans to open up a branch in other 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃s?
Yeah, I mean, I will be sticking to vinyl printing because this was the main thing I started with, and then you shouldn't forget what you started with. So yes, I will stick to vinyl printing, but my future plans would be to grab the printing market in Bhutan. I mean, when I say that, it doesn't mean that, okay, I'm going to overthrow all the print shops in Bhutan. No, it's not like that. I mean, there are a lot of new printing techniques introduced in the past few years. So I would really love to try them out in Bhutan, especially printing styles called hydro printing, printing styles called the DTF, printing styles called DTG. But then few of the printing styles are done with expensive machines, so it would be hard. But other styles are unique, so you can just give it a try. And then, yes, my future plans would be to grab hold of the printing market in Bhutan.
Okay. And you mentioned before that your clients are mostly based in Thimphu. So are you planning to cater to other 𝗀𝗃𝗃s, or are you already doing it right now?
I wouldn't start up another business in another 𝗀𝗃𝗃 because I take orders from other places. The furthest order I got was from 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. It was a family. They wanted a family T-shirt saying Papa Love, Mama Love, and Baby Boss. So I still remember the design. But the main issue here is that while sending the product from here, I have to send it in the city bus because via taxi it becomes a little bit expensive. So I send it in the buses. So yes, that's the order I got from 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, the furthest order.
Okay. So you've been in the business for a few years. So can you tell me how popular are Bhutanese designs?
I'd say the best designs that people order regarding the Bhutanese designs is the dragon design and the druk word on their garments.
Okay, so it's great that people are opting for that, because the general stuff that we get internationally, we get it here also. But the unique designs that the Bhutanese culture has, we don't get it internationally. So Now we can get it from your studio. I think it will set us apart if we wear those designs.
Yes.
And please tell our viewers, what do you enjoy the most about your work?
I'd say that the designing part, I enjoy the designing part a lot because it helps me get new knowledge about the color combinations, as I mentioned earlier, and also because I really enjoy designing, graphic designing. And the second would be seeing the final product, because once the printing is done, after everything, when I see the final product, I get something like a satisfaction, and then I tell myself, wow, I made this. So this feeling I like the most, and these two things I really love about my work.
Yes, it's always beautiful to create something.
Yes.
So Tenzin, right now, you know, there might be a lot of people who might be thinking about maybe starting a business, and you have been through that phase. So what would you like to tell them? What advice would you like to give to them?
My advice to the younger ones would be do something that you love. If something doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. You can just do some research and then start a different thing, because you know Bhutan is still a developing country. So I believe that there are a lot of opportunities in the country only. So I tell the younger ones to never give up, never let someone crush your dreams. You do you, and yeah, that's about it. This will be my message for the people who are starting up their new businesses.
Well, Tenzin, thank you for that advice. And you have been a very inspirational person to talk to, you know. You learned something about a whole business through your own initiative on social media, YouTube, like you said, and Facebook. So if we put our mind into it, I think we can achieve our dreams.
Yes, of course.
So I guess you're the living proof of it. Thank you for coming on the show once again.
Thank you for having me.
And to all of viewers who have questions regarding graphic designing or maybe starting up a business in vinyl printing, and if you want to avail 𝗂𝗍𝗍 services, you can contact them on their Instagram page, 𝗂𝗍𝗍. Thank you for watching.